Hi, I'm Darlene Washington, and this is Spiritually Intriguing, the Church Edition. We're on RazzmatazzTV.com. Okay, so I am still here, but I am on my last show with Pastor Timothy F. Brown of First Baptist Church of Gary, Indiana, and he is awesome, trust me. Pastor?
Nice to meet you again.
Okay, so as I said, we're on the last leg, so I'm gonna get right to it about today's show. The Pope is in the United States, and I think that's a great thing. This particular Pope, Pope Francis, I like Pope Francis. He has interesting views. He is not shy to today's issues. He doesn't offer just a scripture and say, so that's it, that's the end of it, I like him. Anyway, having said that, I don't know much about popehood or what it's about or what it entails, so I'm going to let an expert tell me. So, as I said, Pope Francis is in the United States. I like him. Do we need a pope?
Well, yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
Do we need a pope? I guess some people see on the no side. Some people do not see a direct correlation or relationship with the Pope.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are spiritual and not tied to any form of the church and worship and the worship experience,
Mm-hmm.
you are tied to the Pope, whether you want to be or not.
Mm-hmm.
Through the Pope, there is apostolic succession.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say, to give you a brief example of what that entails and what it is, our President Obama,
Mm-hmm.
well, we can trace him all the way back to George Washington,
Wow.
who is the first president, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Pope Francis, we can trace that Pope, which there probably have been somewhere in the neighborhood of 240 some odd popes.
Wow.
But we can trace Francis all the way back to Peter, who is considered the first pope, the apostolic succession. So we can't get away, and yes, we do.
Now, do you mean in numerical order, or do you mean
Yes.
in relation? You mean in numerical order?
Numerical
Yes.
order
Uh-huh.
and relation,
Oh, okay.
because there is that spiritual dimension.
Oh, the spirit. Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, there's the spiritual dimension. So we can count him back all the way back to Peter's death at Vatican City, buried at the Roman See in the ground there.
Wow.
So we do need a pope. The church, when I say the universal, because that's what Catholicism is, the universal branch of Christendom.
Mm-hmm.
And we need that because you have brothers and sisters who worship under Catholicism.
Mm-hmm.
Every organization, institution, organism, whatever it be, needs a leader.
Mm-hmm.
Someone, there's just, I don't know of any organization or institution that there is not some form of leadership or hierarchy.
Mm-hmm.
Although we, denominationally, we're not adherents to the Pope, but we are directly related to the Pope, and that came somewhere in the 15th century, if you remember Martin Luther, the Protestant monk, and that split from the church. He never really wanted to split the church, but that's what happened, and there we have denominationalism, and here we are today. But yes, we need a Pope. We need that leadership. We need good popes. We need God-fearing popes who are going to lead, as you said, who will keep the church relevant. Because there is a dichotomy between denominationalism and the Catholic Church, but it need not be, because we are intricately related. So we need that relationship and someone who's going to be relevant. While I do not agree with all of the Catholic views, there are a lot of them I do agree with. So yeah, I would say we need the Pope.
Okay, I like that. As I said, I don't know a lot about the Pope activity and things of that nature, but I was proud to see some of the comments and things that he has made in the past, as far as abortion, gay men and women, and forgiving souls and things of this nature. He seems to be a pretty genuine person, and I can appreciate that. And then I still take into consideration the man is not God either.
Right.
So nobody is perfect, and I don't hold anyone up to that standard.
Right.
You know, it's
Right.
like when you meet your maker, he's gonna say, okay, well, I'm happy with you or I'm not, and that's all there is to it. You know, that's all there is to it. It's nobody else's agenda.
Equality with God.
That's right.
Yeah.
Don't even
Right.
try that.
This is true.
Okay, so we love you, Pope Francis. All right. Next subject is the BMW car manufacturers.
In South Carolina.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they have this lawsuit because they were trying to background check all the employees in their office, and well, let me tell y'all about this. So I hope you don't own a BMW because they don't like black people, according to their $16 million lawsuit that was awarded for using background checks to eliminate blacks from their employ. I don't think they originally targeted blacks, but when you do a background check with America's pitiful rate of unlawful justice against minorities, how did you expect your results to be anything out of the range that was discovered? I don't get that one. Now, if they replace all of the positions lost with the same race of the person terminated, then, you know, nobody could really have an argument. But for $16 million it is. What do you think about that?
Well, I do own a BMW.
Uh-oh. All right, you BMW people.
But let me just say to that issue, you know, I also brush my teeth with Sensodyne. I also go to Kmart. I go to Walmart.
Okay.
But that type of ethos needs to be watchdogged in every organization. It is just when it is manifested, as you see again, we will always come back to policies. We need to watchdog organizations and policies, the policies that they manufacture to make sure that equality is dispensed across the board. Had there not been a watchdog, they would have easily gotten away with it. But to their defense, they're not the only ones. It's just they got caught.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point.
So, but one of the good things is that they reverted the practice and went back and said, okay, let us look at this. They apologized. They paid for the recompense or the error of their way, and they made due on a financial level and apologized and went back into the policy and reformulated, if you will, a better policy that fits across the board. And that's what they should have done. But we need minorities, African American more in particular, we need these type of watchdog persons or organizations to look into, to veer into every system, organization, because it happens, and if it goes unchecked, they will do it as long as if nobody's watching or checking.
As long as they can.
So, but they righted the wrong. At least they made the honest attempt to right the wrong, and I don't know to what degree that was expressed. Only the workers there know whether they've received a equal recompense for the action that was taken against them. So, you know, I say to that BMW and all, it needs to be fair play. It is, you know, it's just sad that you're bringing the race issue into business.
Right.
Business is about making money. But yet you're allowing a personal ethos or personal belief to affect, because God knows how many African Americans purchase their cars. So if we all would today,
and black people or African Americans love BMWs
Right.
and Mercedes Benz.
Right. but
Y'all
that
better
could
quit playing.
that would greatly affect them.
Yeah.
So once we finish paying for these, we never got another BMW or another automobile, and these racial policies come out. Look at the largest consumer in America is African Americans.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we really wanted to, we could shut a lot of organizations down, and yet they continue to practice these type of ill-ranker behavior, ill-mannered behaviors. So,
Yeah. It's
but
ridiculous.
you know, it just speaks to the broader American community.
So this racial thing that's going on in the world, I feel as though this is my policy. It's like sin is alive in every human being. That means to me that you can go for every one reason that a racist person does not like another race. It's like, are you tripping? You can find the same things in your own race.
Right.
So that's not the real reason why you don't like that person. It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. So you have to really examine that. And I'm not against anyone, white, black, green, or purple. Again, all I say is just be genuine. You know, I'm not gonna pretend to like someone if I don't. I'll be cordial, polite. I'm not gonna hit you in your head because I don't like you. I ain't gonna block you. None of that. I mean, I will do my best to make sure that if there's anything you need from me, and within my means, I would help you. You know, if I could, and if I couldn't help you, I would definitely refer you to someone who could help you.
Right.
So, I mean, we just have to help each other along. We're all human beings. Right. That's the thing with me and racism. So, how, on a spiritual perspective, what's your spiritual perspective on racism?
It's been happening since the beginning of time. Men and women have hated men and women purely on the basis of race. And I don't see it not going anywhere. But I do say to those with racist attitudes and racist behaviors, be tolerable. You know, I have certain and specific theological beliefs that I just do not impose upon others, because it is my personal theological belief. And I think the same thing about racism. If, you know, we're not going to eradicate racism, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But at least I say to the racists, be tolerable, and do not impose that upon your children and your children's children, and which creates for a worse world and evil, because the racist has to at some point reverse and say, what if it were me that were being discriminated against? And it might not be you, but somewhere, because of that behavior, there is a moral, spiritual law at work. It will be your child, it'll be your grandchild.
Exactly.
And so, you know, that's what I just say to that. Be careful about hating people solely and purely on, based upon race.
Because to me, it's all about hate and mean-spiritedness.
It
you
is.
know, and you know, like you said, I don't think we can ever eliminate it, because it's natural for people to wake up in the morning and say, I don't like you, you over there.
Right.
You know, so I don't know that we could ever eliminate it, but to gain tolerance for each other, to understand that no one is perfect, to understand that everything we're hating in other races, you know, like I said, you're gonna find it in yourself, unless you're just a steel wall, you know, a statue or something. You know, you're human, so you're gonna err.
Yeah, unfortunately, we will have those attitudes and behaviors to deal with, and you know, and vice versa. We need to gain more tolerance toward the races. I mean, you look at the great leaders, Gandhi, Martin Luther King. I mean, they know what they were up against. They know what they were up against and why they were up against it, and yet love conquered hate. So that's my take on it. You know,
that's an awesome take.
Love conquers hate.
Love does. It always wins. Okay, I love all people, and I want you to too. Can't make you, but I hope you do.
Amen.
Jump on the bandwagon. That's the end of our show. I thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to watch all 4 of Pastor Timothy F. Brown's segments, and you'll share in his world. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Amen.
All right.